What's the most unbelievable excuse your child's daycare gave for something that happened? Your daughter somehow got everyone else's lunch. I'm thinking, okay, maybe Arya grabbed an extra sandwich. She's 4 and loves food. But Miss Delaney's voice sounded impressed? Which was weird because Miss Delaney never sounds impressed by anything. This is a woman who once described a kid's finger painting masterpiece as adequate color distribution. Is she in trouble? I asked, already mentally preparing for another conversation about sharing and boundaries. Well, that's complicated, Miss Delaney said slowly. Can you come in? Like, now? The drive to Bright Steps daycare usually takes 12 minutes, but I made it in 8. I've gotten these calls before. Last month, Arya convinced 3 kids that vegetables were actually tiny aliens trying to invade their stomachs. The month before that, she started a black market trading system using goldfish crackers as currency. But when I walked into the main room, I stopped dead. Arya was sitting at a table surrounded by 12 lunch boxes, methodically eating from each one like she was conducting some kind of scientific taste test. She had a serious, concentrated expression I'd only seen when she was trying to figure out how to reach the cookies on top of the fridge. What made it weirder was the audience. Every other kid in the daycare was sitting in a perfect circle around her table, watching her eat with the kind of reverence usually reserved for story time, or when someone's parent brings birthday cupcakes. So she took everyone's food? I asked Miss Delaney, preparing my usual apology speech about respecting other people's property and asking before taking. Miss Delaney shook her head slowly. No, that's the thing. She didn't take anything. Watch. I watched Arya carefully try a bite of someone's PB&J sandwich, chew thoughtfully for about 10 seconds, make what looked like a mental note, then move to the next lunchbox. She opened a container of apple slices, examined them closely, took a small bite, nodded approvingly, and moved on to a thermos of soup. Then how did she get— The kids started giving her their food, Miss Delaney interrupted. All of them. Voluntarily. Milo practically threw his turkey sandwich at her. That's when I really looked at the other children. They weren't upset or hungry or crying. They were sitting there looking satisfied, content, like they were watching their favorite TV show. Little Noelle, who I knew was extremely possessive of her snacks, was actually pushing her fruit cup closer to Arya's side of the table. Arya, I called out. Sweetie, what's happening here? She looked up at me, a bit of applesauce on her chin, and smiled that smile that usually meant she'd figured out something the adults hadn't thought of yet. I'm making sure everyone's lunch is safe, Mommy. Some foods can be poison. I felt that familiar sinking feeling I got whenever Arya's logic was about to turn my world upside down. Poison? Uh-huh. Like when you smell milk to see if it's still good. But I have special taste buds that can tell if kid food is dangerous. Miss Delaney leaned closer to me and lowered her voice. She convinced them she has some kind of supernatural ability to detect harmful food. Now they won't eat anything until she approves it first. I looked around the room again. Sure enough, all the other kids had full lunch boxes sitting untouched in front of them, waiting patiently for Arya's verdict on each item. How long has this been going on? I whispered back. 3 days. Yesterday, she started categorizing foods by safety levels and assigning each kid specific approved items. I stared at my daughter, who had somehow turned lunchtime into a cult-like food safety operation where she was the supreme leader. Arya held up a carrot stick, examined it like a jeweler appraising a diamond, took a careful nibble, and he gave Milo a thumbs up. Milo immediately grabbed his matching carrot sticks and started eating with obvious relief. The other parents think she's a lunch genius, Miss Delaney whispered. 3 of them have already asked if she offers consulting services for picky eaters.